so in terms of narrative, the story of Skyward Sword falls very neatly into Joseph Campbell's hero's journey or monomyth, which I think is done to ensure the story is universal enough to allow a very wide audience to access it. The story includes many of the stages Campbell details in the hero's journey, including one, the call to adventure, where Zelda falls to the surface from Skyloft and Link is recruited by Fi, who is a representative of the goddess Hylia, to save Zelda. Receiving supernatural aid, Link is given guidance, support, and the Master Sword by Fi. Crossing the threshold, Link goes to the surface from Skylink to save Zelda. The Road of Trials, which is most of the game, meeting with the goddess, where he discovers that Zelda is actually the reincarnated goddess Hylia. Atonement with the Father is the showdown with Demise. The ultimate boon is the Master Sword or the Triforce. And then the return is actually left open-ended in this installment, as this is the first in the chronological order of the Legend of Zelda series. Zelda and Link both stay on the surface and do not return in this game. This is a way to have a story in the video game without thinking too much about the story. It's one that's already been written countless times before. It's tried and true. People like it, relate to it, identify with it, and the game makers can easily apply their own narrative elements on top of it. The narrative in this case acts as tent poles that provide infrastructure for the rest of the game. So like for the design, the user experience, the interactive elements, the graphics, the fun characters and environments, etc.
Character and gender representation in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Our hero Link is a young male that is about the age of 15, maybe 16 at most. Zelda takes the role of both the hero and princess in distress and is about the same age as Link. Even though most video games have the male lead as a muscle-bound adventurer, in the Legend of Zelda series, Link's design and appearance is based off of what is attractive to female audiences in Japan and Asia. Zelda's design and appearance is the exact opposite of what we all usually see in most video games. Even though she isn't sexualized, she is given a very delicate and fragile design and appearance. In this installment of the Zelda series, you don't see Zelda transform into Sheik, which is her alter ego. Zelda gains the ability to turn into one of the Shikai in a group of warriors who are the guards of the royal family after receiving training from her protector Impa, who is also present in Skyward Sword. I was confused as to why Sheik was not included in the story, since in Ocarina of Time, she gains the ability as a child, while in Skyward Sword, she is a teenager and should have been taught the ability. I think that race is hard to talk about when it comes to fictional locations, events, and characters. They are all elves, which are non-humans and have no basis in reality, so I don't feel that they are subjected to the same rules.
Skyward Sword's marketing include being the central theme of the event at Australian Nintendo Connection Tour in 2011. Actor and comedian Robin Williams and his daughter Zelda have starred in TV commercials promoting the game. As real-life fans, a number of commercials featured the two. Williams has admitted to naming her after the Legend of Zelda games. Additionally, a short comic based on the game was published weekly in 5 parts on Nintendo's official Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword website, and for the initial production of the game, an anniversary CD was included with both editions, containing orchestrated versions of iconic music from the series.
After researching who the target audience is for Skyward Sword Zelda, I came across a couple articles that actually talked about how they were confused about who the actual target audience is for the game. So during the game, you go through it, and there are instructions that come along with it, and the instructions are very slowly presented to you, and you cannot skip through it, so that is geared towards younger kids, so they have to follow along easier. But the reason why people are confused is because the game requires a lot of skillful reading parts, and also you have to critically think about the reading you've done, and you have to do a lot of memorization, actually. They don't just give you step-by-step directions for everything, which is geared towards older audiences. So that's why there's definitely mixed reviews on who the target audience is.
Okay, this is Sammer with a guest, my sister, who has also played Skyward Sword, and we're going to talk about gameplay. So, this game sucks.
Yes.
It's not even really a good Zelda game. It sort of meanders and takes everything that's good about the original stuff, the previous games, and ruins it completely.
It's just one hub world too. That
Yeah.
You just go to like 2 other worlds.
Yeah, all the aspects, the overworld, exploration, sort of the staples of what makes a Zelda game a Zelda game.
An adventure game.
Yeah, aren't really present. Everything's kind of like sectioned off too.
Yeah,
And-
everything feels disconnected, as if like they made some parts of the game and then put it all together. Like,
Yeah, and
separately.
in terms of like motion controls too, I thought it was cool when I was like younger, but when I was playing it again, do you remember
The Wii
over like
Motion
winter
Plus?
break? Yeah,
Oh,
I was just like,
yes.
my wrists.
Yeah,
Don't
and they still
enjoy
haven't really
this.
gotten that
Yeah,
better.
you can only play for like half an hour or so, and you're just like, well, my body doesn't really want to do this
Mhm.
anymore.
And there's like a select few people that are like, oh no, it's not that bad, but like
yeah,
I
for
don't
the
want to
most
spend
part.
like 20 minutes like learning the exact position my wrist needs to be
Yeah,
in.
just in terms of like interactivity, it doesn't make any sense to like we created digital buttons for a reason until virtual reality hits a point where like we can make these controls or whatever without having to worry about sensor bars and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and it's
right
not
now we're
really
like
worth it.
in the uncanny valley of it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Skyward Sword is a bad game. You
Yeah.
should go play Ocarina of
Wind
Time.
Waker's the best.
Or A Link Between Worlds, or
Yeah.
Twilight Princess.
Or really any other
really
game.
any other.